all
right.
made by Key Homes. A lot of people don't think much about it. It was a frame house, but actually the rooms are laid out pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I remember Key Homes back in the day.
They were maybe not that good of a rating, but actually the way the house is laid out on the end, yeah, they made a hell, the damn house payment like $130 a month back in then. You know what I mean? For a four
Yeah,
bedroom house. Yeah. So the first year that we were there, we had you get your income tax refund from the government.
yeah,
Put a fence around the place, and that was only like $300 for a fence from Sears then,
yeah.
and can't get that done today. And then I think the following year we had a carpet put in from Carpets by Direct or something. Other than that, it might have been about 400. They did the hallways, and they had a dinette there and a den, and the other hallway to the front door. That was done, and you're always saving your money up when you're a young couple. And my wife got a job with the post office. Before that, she used to take sewing in for Charlie Teague. He had Teague Sporting Good Place here, I guess, off of Valley Ground Shopping Center there.
Vaguely remember that.
Well, he's passed away now, but she used to sew the letters on uniforms that he sold, like to the baseball player and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And so different. I think Larry Little then was a basketball player. She did the. They bring the uniforms in. She'd letter them up.
yeah.
I guess numbers and letters. I had to buy her a new sewing machine. She's making money there. I remember going to Zayre's when they were open, buying the damn thread. You had to get thread that would stretch, a little bit.
And I kind of miss the Zayres and Kmart's
Yeah,
and this, that, and other around here.
yeah. You remember that Zayre's? Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then when I had my frozen machine, I had one of my customers that lived on Spice Drive across the street. He worked for Zayre's in part time, and he got me a deal on they were changing the front end parts over to bubble packs,
Yeah.
and what they had then was everything was in a boxes. So I bought all the stuff out from 2 stores for I think it was like $500, maybe 300 one store, 200 from the other. Sure, probably several $1,000s worth of parts. They just had to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And all the new shit was coming in blister packs, and they had a couple. I should have bought from them machine. They had a couple of those that sold. I like theirs. They're hundreds. But world's changed. I'm 80. I feel like 100.
Gary, you're amazing. Uh, what do you think about um, our street, our neighborhood right now becoming kind of like an upscale neighborhood?
Well, it's probably getting that way. We need a few lights put on it at night.
Yeah.
Street lights down there. I mean, night lights.
Yeah, we do.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
I might try to get one on this pole or something. I think. I thought I used to have them, but maybe not. I know Larry used to pay for one over there, but I don't know why they got 2 lights up there.
Larry
But
Larry was my buddy.
good.
I mean, I went over and did a
He
lot
was
of.
retired. Was he a professor somewhere? I mean,
I don't know.
he had
I
education.
I just rode by one day. He had some stuff out by the road, and we picked it up. And then he asked for my help, and then we came by and helped him kind of clear stuff out. He was trying to downsize so he can move up north to where he,
They took care of that problem, getting rid of it.
yeah. We Man, I can't tell you how much stuff we hauled away from there, but
Oh hell yeah!
and now
And
that
they built them other buildings behind it for more storage. right?
Yeah, there's a crazy amount of storage behind his house, no doubt. I mean, but Gary,
92 is a pretty good age, you know.
yeah, and he is, and it's sad to think that
Yeah.
he passed away on the way.
Was it on the way?
It was on the way.
Or was it in front of the place? I forget who passed away in front of the place.
No,
On the way in the
he
car.
he was on the way up to wherever it was in the Connecticut or
That's a long drive, you know what I mean, for his age in a car, too.
yeah,
Oh, what the hell? I mean,
but Gary,
yeah.
I have seriously enjoyed our time here tonight.
Well, he had a couple women here and there. See,
All right, that's
buy him a
another
car, you know.
that's another story. I will come back tomorrow, and we will.
If it ain't raining, I'll be out there working on the damn Mustang. I got to move cars out of the yard.
Well, you know,
Come by my friend that does my brickwork and shit. And I don't know why my brother put that there. I'm gonna ask him if I can take it down. It's a little bow to it. But when I had that thing straightened out and nailed, I don't think it was down maybe a half inch or so. But it's not falling down. It was nailed pretty good.
yeah,
They just never got it up high enough, you know, so when it came back down, like when Billy did that shit.
right.
I don't want the city to see it. That'll just be something else to fucking fix. I'm out here looking around the house. There's really not much wrong. They found maybe a window or two needs to be replaced. One window, this one, cracked. And then, the side of the house, the second bedroom, you know, that needs to be rebuilt. And that's it. And then I think on this, nothing wrong on the back of the house, and on this side of the house, something, piece of the roof up there, got to be fixed.
Well,
He didn't really hit me for too much, and then I had this piece of wood right here. See,
yeah,
that was a knot that fell out, right? You know.
yeah.
So Danny said he can cut about he'll cut from where it's nailed into here to here about 2 foot out, put a piece down in there.
Yeah, actually, I would probably replace the whole board. Yeah.
Well, that's what I would have done. But he
Yeah.
doesn't do what he's going to do. He's just going to cut it out from here. Piece there, but he may put the whole board in it because it'll look a lot better.
Nah, I'd replace the whole board.
Yeah.
I mean, what's that like?
It'll look better. You know.
$5 to $8.
Yeah.
Just replace the whole board.
Yeah, because it'll come up pretty easy. You know.
Yeah.
And then all that was been replaced on that side. So I did that years ago. And I paid for that rear roof you put on. Called my brother up. I said, Billy, I said, you know, here, what is it? 62 to 17 years ago. Oh, yeah, 18. A couple weeks before I'm 62, I was having trouble making money. Okay.
Yeah.
So I got behind on the house payment several months, and then the bank steps in and all this shit. And 2 more weeks out of me getting my Social Security check, you know. I'm gonna straighten things up right away.
Right.
So Billy says, well, I got some extra money, because he bought a house in San Francisco. That cost him around, you know. But then they reappraised all the properties out there, and the value went way up. So he had some extra money. He says, you want me to loan you some money or pay it off? And I didn't think I'd be here this long, you know what I mean?
Right.
I said, pay it off, and I ain't got to worry about it, you know?
Yeah.
Now it's his, and, you know, 37, you know, 20-some years, well, say, 17, 18 years later from that point to here. It's, but now, you know, I could move a small apartment or something. But I'm settled in here now after 37 years, see.
Yeah.
So the house has been in the family name for about 50 years. Yeah. And even when I used to be younger out here doing the yard work, remember the old man used to walk up and down the street? You ever see him?
Yeah, Mr. Brady. Yeah, I
know him, yeah, but-
when I was like 5 or 10 years old, he lived across the street from my grandmother. I used to carry his groceries in for 25 cents.
Okay.
I mean,
Good money.
no, yeah, back in
Yeah.
the late 60s or
Yeah.
early 70s. Mr. Brady, dude, he walked. You'd be surprised how
He'd
far
come
he
out of here and
walked.
say, you know, young man, he says, I got married. I think they got married and moved in with his wife in the 40s down there.
Yeah,
He says, and that house was old then. So
Yeah.
I mean, this is supposed to be rated at 1923, but it's probably older than that, maybe. You know,
yeah,
I think it's probably built sometime when Cone Mills was built. You know, but I mean, because see, the second bedroom wasn't on there. Neither probably was that rear hallway or the bathroom,
yeah.
because you didn't have bathrooms in those days. You had outhouse, you know, privies, and you had an outside well. So when did they put water on the street? 40s or 50s or something like that. Yeah.
Man, I was carrying groceries in for Mr. Brady into his house across the street from my grandmother's house. The street, Bond Street, up here off Church Street, was still gravel. The city used to come out and spread oil out on the street to keep the dust down.
Yeah, I remember.
That-
I don't remember
that's how-
that, but you know,
And you know what? I'm old, but
yeah.
a lot of I came in at the tail end of old school, and then
Yeah.
came in to new school, and that's where we are now.
I think I moved here in the early 60s. Oh, well, let's see. I moved here in 67, 68.
Hmm.
And I looked around for a job, and when Chevrolet Place was going to hire me because I worked for the service manager's brother in Maryland at the Oldsmobile place. Farabee
Right.
was the last name. I think one was Tom Farabee, a little John Farabee. They looked like twins. I said, "You got a yeah, yeah." I said, "Well, I worked at Los St. Louis." He called up there, and he wanted to hire me. He said, you know, and then, but I ended up getting a job. Went by this truck place. I'm not a diesel mechanic at the time, but I could fix all the electrical shit. But I ended up going to work for J.B. Richardson. He had the Jeep dealership here,
Hmm.
and they put in air conditioners. And I wanted to learn about air conditioning.
Right.
Now, J.B. Richardson's place, you may have forgotten. Krispy Kreme used to be at the corner of, what was that, Mill Street and Battleground Avenue?
Oh yeah, yeah.
He was right across the street, had a Jeep dealership. See?
I remember.
That's before
Yep.
City Motors got it.
Yep.
Because he was a Jeep dealership probably from the 40s in there, see?
I
then,
actually remember that. Yeah, I was very very young then,
Yeah.
but I remember it.
Yeah. And next door we had the paint, was it DeVoe Paint, you know.
I
now
remember
it's a
DeVoe
damn-
Paint.
It's a parking lot for that restaurant now. The Jeep place is now a parking lot, you know, building gone and everything.
Yeah.
And then the City Motors ended up on Battleground Avenue with the Rambler. See, Rambler, American Motors, and Rambler Hudson. And then it came down to Jeep.
Yep.
And well, he was only selling maybe a new Jeep once a month. And then after City Motors took over, they sold a shitload of Jeeps. You know?
Oh yeah.
And,
Yeah.
They wanted him to remodel his place. He didn't want to get into all that expense. He was 70-some years old. You know, he was getting there. His son had died working there. I didn't stay there. I stayed there a while, and then I, you know, always looking for a little. You're a young guy, always looking for something a little more money, you know. But I learned how to put air conditioners in at that place, and that's one of the reasons I went there. So after that, I was installing car air conditioners. You know, it was a big deal back then because a lot of cars were coming without air conditioning.
Yep.
And then people wanted an air conditioner put in, so we put them little portable units that like fit under the dash. You know,
Yeah.
we put the kit on the engine, then under the dash, and you bolt it up under the dash, you know, over the pump there, you know, and put a couple drain hoses, put the electrical in, you know, run the cooling lines, do that. And then some of them we put in the rear trunk for certain cars, and some vans overhead. Learned all that. And then down at the Pontiac place, I was doing the front end man left, so I started working on the front end machine. They said, "Can you do that?" And I said, "Yeah." I did that. and I did air conditioner, and then I had some transmission training, so when he left, I started doing some of that too. I was doing a little bit of everything. I had my own tune-up machine, so I worked out from there. I was making decent money, but then again, it changed the service managers, and all of a sudden, I'm getting more like squeaks and rattles to do. And I didn't pay much to do squeaks and rattles. What do you get, $5 worth a day's work? They don't want to pay you for squeaks and rattles. They just want you to fix them. And I just got tired of that, and I left. And I got a job making more money. Then I ended up in the service station business,
Yeah.
And so, good as that was for a while.
Well, Gary,
Should have stayed with the 2-bay.
Gary, I sure have appreciated you sitting here talking with me. Do you mind if I come back tomorrow?
Sure, I'll probably be out there working on that Mustang. Don't come too early. I'll probably sleep until 10 or 11 o'clock or something.
Okay. That's not a problem. I get up early, and I love talking to you, man. I love hearing your stories.
My life is, I think, maybe more interesting because I'm born up north. There's a lot of stuff to do up there.
Right.
We used to go out. There's 2 Polish boys who lived on the corner. Okay. Let's see. World War II. There's a lot of boys down there. We all had a mom, and a lot of us didn't have dads. They either were divorced, gone, in the service and got killed. Things happen.
Yeah.
And then, you just, when you're growing up, you're playing with other kids anyway.
Yeah.
Some had more toys than the others.
Yeah.
But we did all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody got in serious trouble then. I mean, it was just.
You was just making ends meet.
That was about it.
Yeah.
I went delivering papers for 3 years, newspapers.
Yeah.
I found out because, my mom, all the money she made went for I just had a decent place to live, So I found out that I could get a job delivering newspapers when I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
And I did. And then I delivered the first year. I delivered the Star, which is the evening paper.
Right.
A Star, Evening Star, or whatever. Evening paper, but Sunday morning paper. See?
Yeah.
And then after a year, we'll say 9 months, because I'd sell my route. You could sell your route and buy a route, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So summertime I'd go to if I was going to my aunt and uncle's, I'd sell my route. When I come back, we generally find a route that was for sale, okay?
Right.
And you paid about, $25, $30 for a route, see? Okay, so that costs you 1 month. You make about $25, $30 a month. So the second year I did the Post, which is a 7-day morning paper. Washington Post still in business.
Yeah.
And I think the price went up. When I got out of the Post, they were selling they would cost you $1.95 a month. For weekly and weekend paper, that's 30 days paper, a month,
Yeah.
$1.95. You can't get it that anymore,
Yeah.
And then I did the last year I did the News, which was a 6-day-a-week thin paper. You put 60, 70 papers in your paper bag, carry them around,
Yeah.
Then I had a court area, and going to these apartments, they had 11 units. They're 3-story, and you just flip around, and get done with there. And then on Saturday, if I went to my aunt and uncle's on the weekend, I'd pay somebody $1 to deliver my paper on the weekend, on Saturday. See,
Right.
didn't have to fool with Sunday. It was only a 6-day-a-week paper. That worked out all right. That's probably when I started going out there all the time. Yeah. Especially when I got 16, my mom says, "I can't handle you no more. You got to go out there." So I did. He was in the service station. Good. He had other mechanics working for him and shit. And I'm learning. They put me on what the hell was it? Mercedes came out, Gullwing, with the doors that went up like that.
Right.
Well, he was probably a decent location where he was. And next door was a bar, restaurant, like Henry's Bar, something like that. And the guy bought one of his Mercedes. And he came up for an oil change. Of course, they put it up on a lift for me. They told me to grease the car. Some young guy, I wasn't even 16, I don't think. I'm trying to grease the car, I'm greasing it. And I get to these fittings, I said, I can't get grease in these fittings. And there was lunchtime. They all come, and one of them looked at me and started laughing. He said, oh, you're trying to grease the Zerk fittings. That's for letting the brake fluid out. Well, you can't get grease in there, Them things are shut off, So I'm learning, And they're messing with me. I've seen them work on them Kaisers, Hudsons, Henry J's. I drove a Henry J, I had a Plymouth. First car I was going to get was a 41 Plymouth convertible. That'd have been nice. So I guess my uncle's out racing the thing, and then motor goes bad. So they stuffed me in a 51 that didn't look too bad. Pretty good, nice looking car, they painted it up for me. And of course, if you had a car, you had plenty of women dates. I mean, plenty of girls, they all want to go to the drive-in and shit, get around. And I dated one girl one time. We went off with my cousin, double dated. We went, getting cool weather. We thought it was going to be all right. We was going to go ride horses up in Virginia, somewhere in the mountains. And we ended up with Larry Caverns, that's like underground thing,
Yeah, I know exactly where that's at. Yep.
And we later on I dated her. That was Lorraine Cat. Yeah, I told her. Her brother worked for my uncle part-time in the summertime. Lorraine Cat. He was the midshipman at Annapolis. So then she says to me, well, Gary, let's go down and see my dad. I said, where does he live? Annapolis. Her dad had 300 acres in Annapolis, Maryland. He lived in the woods in a cabin.
And what year was this?
This is, I was probably about 18. Let's see, 18. And more than 43 and 18. What do you got? 60?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Probably before I was born.
I was born in 43. Okay.
Yeah.
So we go down there, we drove down there to Henry J. and opened the front gate. Found out he got 300 acres in Annapolis, Maryland, in the woods. And I think he said, you got electric line going out there. He said, well, they give me free electricity to run across my land. Well, back then, it didn't seem like, to me, 300 acres is a lot of money, because I never thought I was a kid, what I mean?
Right.
And now, if he had it now, it'd be probably $300 million.
Yeah, it would be crazy expensive.
And I never, after that, I moved back to where D.C. and all that other shit, got married when I was 20 and ended up down here. I don't know what happened to Martin, because he was at Annapolis. I hope he wasn't on the Thresher or anything like that, because he was going to be a submarine person,
Yeah.
And then who knows what happens to people, when you move. A bunch of friends up there. Even the high school I went to, the junior high, we went to so much going on up there. So many kids being World War II being born, okay?
Yeah.
The school I went to was called, on the main drag, Minnesota Avenue in Washington. One of the main drags. Kimball Elementary. So many children in there that they built the junior high school half mile from it or whatever. And John Philip Sousa Junior High. See, well, they just had something about John Philip Sousa in Winston-Salem a week or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
They dressed up in the uniforms and he did a lot of parades and stuff for the, United States, okay? I think he was stationed at the Marine Barracks in Washington, D.C., had a home there. And he did all this marches and stuff,
Right.
And then, so our 5th and 6th grade, they put us in the top floor at the John Philip Sousa Junior High. We took over there, we were there.
Yeah.
Had a good teacher. And then in the 7th grade, I learned how to do movie projectors, run film.
Yeah.
And they used to about once a week they let you cut a class to go show a film for another teacher. Well, Bell out or whatever RCA, but it's on a stand. You set up the screen, you roll the camera in there, and turn it on. Had a regular good-sized light bulb in it for light. And then in ninth grade, I'd shoot them in the auditorium. Got a movie camera in it like you do in a movie theater.
Right.
16 millimeter. But the light unit was carbon arc. Thing on the back of the projector about that big. Looked like you had welding rods in it, touching.
Yeah.
And it gets real bright. You got to be able to shoot that film. 300 feet or whatever it is. And we had probably half the school in there. And you had to, if you're shooting a picture for the whole school, you had to do it twice that day. I did John Philip Sousa story. And if there's 1,000 people in the school, you got only 500 in the auditorium, and we had to shoot it twice that day. I did that maybe once that year. And then the following one was did Audie Murphy, the Hellenbach. That's a 1955 movie I shot.
Oh, wow.
And Audie Murphy was the most famous World War II person in the Army in World War II.
Right.
He had all the decorations, okay?
Yeah.
He had them from France. I think he had decorations from Belgium. And hey, get this. When he went into service, he was 62. He was 16 years old. Okay?
Yeah.
His father had run off. The mom had passed away, got sick. He had 11 siblings, okay? So the local church said, look, we'll take all the kids and raise them here till you get out. And he said, well, I'll have to join the service, and they'll send him an allotment for money to take care of for the pet. For the
right.
kids. He's 16, he got his aunt to sign him into service somehow. 19 when he came out. And he wasn't a tall guy, like 5'8" maybe, something like that.
Yeah.
And he came out as you might say hero. Hell, he has everything, in the Medal of Honor. He had things all over his chest. In 3 years, he did all that,
Yeah.
And then it was a good sharpshooter too, living on a farm.
Yeah.
And, he was a good shooter. He killed a lot of Germans. They were trying to take out a machine gun nest, and they threw a hand grenade, and his buddy thought that took care of it, and he stood up, and Audie told him, get down, and he got shot and killed him. And Audie worked around, and he took out that machine gun nest. Then he got their machine gun and took out one or two more. And then he went on and on and on. And then he just kept bringing the score up, They kept getting him. Probably because of his age, they probably gave him some things too,
Yeah.
Maybe because of his age, they gave him more things, to make the other young guys feel better about themselves. So who knows how much real shit they got and how much they did. But I shot that movie. Every time I see it, I'll try to watch it.
Gary, I really enjoyed sitting up here and talking with you.
You're making a history of it.
Yeah, I kind of am.
I guess you can take them chips out and save them, right? Things.
Oh no, this is going online, and this is amazing to me. Talking to you.
Well,
and I'm going to come back tomorrow.
I had a lot more chances in a big city, and I'm sure somebody in New York had more chances than me than in Washington.
Yeah, but I'm going to come back tomorrow, and we need to talk some more. I know there's not.
Yeah, I'll be outside here.
There's not many people in the neighborhood or anything like that come up here and check on you or anything like that.
I got a girl staying here. She got the front bedroom. And she hadn't felt good, so we left her alone today.
Yeah.
My friend Danny came over, so I had him able to attend to take the trash to the street.
Well-
I empty my trash and I wash dishes. And
Well,
cook some
I'm
breakfast.
I'm coming back tomorrow,
Yeah.
and we're gonna talk some more.
Andy,
you-
my
you
friend,
got-
is a
you
brick
got-
mason and a wood guy. You know.
Yeah, you got some stories, and everybody needs to hear them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wanted to write my second wife was a probably a secretary of sorts. You know, she could write. She worked for Cone Mill. I mean, for the hospital for I guess 20 some years or whatever. Before that, she worked for I think big insurance thing here, on the side of Greensboro.
Yeah.
And she worked for a third marriage. She's in and out of Greensboro. She worked for Center for Creative Leadership for a year.
Yep.
And she did a manual or a book for them. They put her in the credits. They liked her work. I mean, she knew English, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shit like it. We were going to do. I was going to try to get her to help me do a story about growing up. You know.
Well, that's where I want to.
And I finally found my dad on the internet. Of course, he passed away.
Yeah.
Got his-
All right.
I think it was him as far as birth certificate and all that shit.
Well, I'm coming back up
But
tomorrow.
For the last, 10 years I ain't worked, so broke my ankle and all that shit. So I started thinking about, you start thinking about your past, you know what I mean? Putting this, that,
Yeah.
and the other things together in your life, And
I
I run into a guy the other day down there, a black dude down here at the Hawaiian Cafe.
yeah.
Next to, I was getting my Boost telephone, which I hate, and I ate next door for some lunch.
Yeah.
We got to talking a little bit. He says, "You're how old?" He wants somebody to talk to. You know what I mean? Nobody's,
Yeah.
He probably would have made a good friend, to talk to. And so we talked a little bit. He was getting real interested, and then he had to go. So, and,
Yeah. Dude, I could sit up here for hours, hours
a lot
and
of things
hours,
interesting to somebody else, maybe.
and
You probably got some stories that I ought to hear.
probably not. But
Well,
you don't want to hear
depends
my
where you're at. Most
stories.
guys down here, well, out there,
No.
picking tobacco,
Well, yeah, I started out picking tobacco and this, that, and other, but it went south from there. You know what I mean?
Well, I was just.
But
I
your
think
stories
I
are
was in the right place at the right time, and didn't know opportunity was knocking on the damn door.
yeah, your stories are way more interesting than mine.
Oh, yeah, I did a lot
And-
of shit.
And thank you for letting me share your story. And I will be up here tomorrow.
Yeah, I like the one about the Asian girls. They
All right. So we'll pick up from there. Yeah.
5-year-old, 4.5.
Oh, whoa.
You know,
Just wait.
turns
What
into a shrink, you know
we're
what
we're gonna pick up on that tomorrow. All right.
Yeah, maybe I can get him out here sometime. We can have a party for the whole family. Maybe we can all see him.
Yeah.
And
Well, Gary,
I like to see the 15-year-old.
Gary,
She's grown up.
thank you.
Okay, bud.
Thank
Have a
you.
good time.
Thank you so
I
much.
should be outside for the next month working on these damn cars.
Well, you know what? You say you don't get up before lunchtime?
Well, about it,
Yeah,
I should be out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Is-
very tired. See, I went and got my
Well-
medical thing.
Well-
Everything's down. I'll let you read the report.
Well,
It'll look good, except for I got to work on a few things.
one of the main things I want to help you out with is getting you some more comfortable chairs out here on this front porch. Cause this sucker's killing my
Your
butt.
Your butt? Yeah, aren't they?
Yeah.
You might need to put some cushions out.
I'm gonna try to hook you up with some more comfortable chairs at the very least.
I'll probably just, if I keep these here, they get them sitting, I'll just get some cushions and put them.
No, I think I can.
Well, she got the table around back. Well, I'm putting it if they put the damn table around back and she got another chair.
Uh,
Got a bent leg. I said, well, don't throw it away, so I can straighten that.
I think I can do it just a little better than what you got here now.
Maybe.
Gary,
And,
it's been a pleasure.
I got her.
I will see you tomorrow.
Yes.